So William, 31 years ago, we had our base of operations just down the street from where you are at Gladstone's as we were covering the old Topanga Canyon fire. I mean, this keeps happening year after year after year. How is it that it keeps happening? Trump back in 2020 was very critical of California for not enforcing rules to clear underbrush and make sure that the forest's floors were clean to stop these fires from spreading so rapidly. Why does this keep happening again and again?
Why? Well, there's a multitude of reasons, right? But number one, this fire in Pali started in a residential area. That didn't have anything to do with the wildfires that we often do see that start in the national forest or in the what we call the urban-rural interface, where a lot of people have moved into, and frankly, they don't take proper care and don't put surrounding their homes and take care of it like that. But we now have, and this isn't going to really answer your question, but we have a year-round fire season. Right now, we've got marginal rain the last few months. I think you can blame California on something, but other things, I don't want to say it's Mother Nature. I haven't looked at the total statistics for number of acres burned, but in a situation like this, as I said, when it starts in the middle of a community, you're going to have problems.
Fox News reporter William Lajeunesse had to get past the normalcy of simplifying the causes of California wildfires from afar, from folks that don't know what the hell they're talking about.
That science is going to be key, because if we ignore that science and sort of put our head in the sand and think it's all about vegetation management, we're not going to succeed together protecting Californians.
Okay, it'll start getting cooler. You just watch.
I wish science agreed with you.
Well, I don't think science knows, actually.
It's why that guy that only thinks in sales jobs and lies had to release this self-serving statement. Governor Gavin Newsom refused to sign the water restoration declaration put before him that would have allowed millions of gallons of water from excess rain and snow melt from the north to flow daily into many parts of California, including the areas that are currently burning in a virtually apocalyptic way. He wanted to protect an essentially worthless fish called a smelt by giving it less water. It didn't work. But didn't care about the people of California. Now the ultimate price is being paid. I would demand that this incompetent governor allow beautiful, clean, fresh water to flow into California. He's to blame for this. On top of it all, no water for fire hydrants, not firefighting planes. A true disaster. As usual, this diatribe has elements of reality, mixed in with a lot of disinformation that he knows most people won't look into the details of. There was never a water restoration declaration. He just pulled that out of his ass. But there was a debate over water releases to protect multiple kinds of fish. But he got that backwards. Environmentalists fought to continue to release more water to protect the species in the ecosystem, but lost. As this year, state and local officials decided to suspend the measure. And in order to understand that first responders weren't able to fly over the fires to fight them the first day that they burned all over the city, all he had to do was to turn on the news and listen to reports about the extremely windy conditions that kept that from happening. But he doesn't deal in facts. He deals in confident ignorance.
Gavin's committed. We're all committed. I'm committed to make sure that we get all of this cleaned out and protected. We've got to take care of the floors, the floors of the forests. Very important. You look at other countries where they do it differently, and it's a whole different story. I was with the president of Finland, and he said, we have a much different, we're a forest nation. He called it a forest nation. And they spend a lot of time on raking and cleaning and doing things, and they don't have any problem. And when it is, it's a very small problem. And we can actually dampen our forests with water that costs us nothing, that will come pouring down from the north. Wouldn't that be nice? If you had dampened floors, you wouldn't have forest fires. So we'll work on that too.
California. Purpose of your trip tomorrow?
Just to see the firefighters. Nobody's ever seen what's going on over there. And now they're saying it could be as many as 600. This just came out before we met. It could be as many as 600 people killed, up by 400. It's incredible what's going on, and burned beyond recognition. They can't even see the bodies. It's incredible. I was watching the firemen the other day, and they were raking areas. They were raking areas where the fire was right over there, and they're raking trees, little trees like this that are not trees, little bushes that you could see are totally dry. Weeds. And they're raking them. They're on fire.
So after everyone's reality is skewed and MAGA calls all the smart people that study and actually carry out things like controlled burns a bunch of nerds that think they're better than everyone else, Trump adds to the madness by levying political threats that would do nothing but target the people of the state that he claims his opponents don't care about.
We're going to take care of our farmers. We're going to take care of your water situation. And we'll force it down his throat. And we'll say, Gavin, if you don't do it, we're not giving you any of that fire money that we send you all the time for all the forest fires that you have. But with this group, everything is dead. The automobile industry is dead. The water coming here is dead. And Gavin Newsom is going to sign those papers. And if he doesn't sign those papers, we won't give him money to put out all his fires. And if we don't give him the money to put out his fires, he's got problems. He's a lousy governor. And he treated me very nicely, and I treated him very nicely when I was president. But he's done a lousy job. But there's a case. I said, Gavin, will you sign? It took him like a month and a half or 2 months, and then he decided for political reasons. And then we got hit with COVID, and we had to solve another problem.
So it all turns into an angry back and forth, exactly the way the most divisive president in modern history intends, with the governor of the state naturally responding the same way, which only solidifies MAGA sycophants against him, regardless of the truth.
The President of the United States happens to be in town. It didn't take more than a text message to get the FMAG approved, which means we're getting reimbursed for the vast majority of these costs. No politics, no hand-wringing, no kissing of the feet.
The president-elect chose to attack you, blame you for this.
One can't even respond to it. I mean, it's... people are literally fleeing. People have lost their lives. Kids lost their schools. Families completely torn asunder. Churches burned down. This guy wanted to politicize it. I have a lot of thoughts, and I know what I want to say. I won't. I stood next to a president of the United States of America today, and I was proud to be with Joe Biden. And he had the backs of every single person in this community. He didn't play politics, didn't try to divide any of us.
So real quick, last thing. Notice how Trump consistently tosses blame and empty promises around while people are still trying to regroup their lives as their city burns. But he never complains or talks about reining in predatory industries that take advantage and victimizes them again when disasters like this happen. Maybe it's about time that politicians threaten their agenda.
The other problem that is related, of course, is insurance. Now, that is something you can look at the state and look at responsibility. A lot of people have been kicked off their policies. I got kicked off, had to go to a state plan, and some people in the Palisades and Malibu are going without fire insurance altogether. So, gosh only knows, but these homes here along the water, these are $10 million homes and up. Some in the Palisades, we're looking at $30 million up in the Riviera area, right? So, this is going to be a very, very, very expensive fire.